welcome to Vinotopia. My name is Stephen Felt.
Hi, I'm Jason Hefner.
We're just a couple of regular guys sitting here drinking wine, tasting, and talking about wine. Trying to educate you guys a little bit more about that, well, excuse you.
I believe that was our cameraman, but we're not going to cut. Listen, the best way to learn about wine is to drink wine. And we've been learning a lot here in rehearsal.
Yeah.
This is a Chile Las Vasquez Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, if you don't know, Cabernet Sauvignon is a very...
Sauvignon?
Sauvignon.
Sauvignon. You're very nice and friendly.
It's a very popular red grape. This is from Chile. This has been a wonderful red wine, very smooth, velvety, great with a steak.
Light tannins, too, if I don't mind.
Light tannins. That can make it feel gritty or heavy. This is...
leathery.
Yes, while this has a dark taste, it has a light feel. It's very good. We've learned a lot.
We have learned a lot.
And I want to learn a little bit more.
Well, there's not much more that we can learn. There's, we'll have to learn, whatever we can. And I've got another bottle over here that we can learn about.
I just wish there was another bottle here we could learn about.
I just said that.
Oh, it looks like we have a Cameron Hughes Meritage.
And
Meritage.
Meritage. My God. Whoever taught you about wine?
I'm teaching myself.
Yes, I can tell. It's not Meritage, it's Meritage.
It's not Meritage.
No. See, the problem is, guys like you who are just a regular everyday guy, like myself, but a little less...
Right, I get it.
A little less educated, yeah. Meritage, it's not correct. If you walk into liquor stores and you ask for a Meritage, they're going to point it out to you and you're going to get it. But to correctly pronounce it, Meritage. Think merit and heritage. Combine the two, Meritage.
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 Could you please pass the Cameron Hughes Meritage?
Well, before I do that, I'm going to open it up with this wine key. You can go to any liquor store and get a very nice little wine key that opens up. You got a bottle opener up top here. You also have the little blade on the end that will help you cut the liner off of the bottle, and then you've got the corkscrew. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut.
And while
Don't
he's
get
cutting,
too close to me, man.
And while he's cutting, I'll explain the difference between a varietal and a meritage. Meritage means they take a couple or several different varietals, different years, different grapes, and combine them together to make a more drinkable, palatable table wine. They might have some left over from different vintages, and they find that when they combine them and make a blend, it becomes a lot more drinkable and better than it would be than if it was just served on its own.
I'm sorry, am I disturbing you?
Absolutely not. He's opening wine. I should be able to talk over it because that means there's more wine coming, and I love to learn. And the only way I'm going to learn more is by drinking more wine.
That's right.
Now, the main differences between wine, if you want to break it down, there's white and red. We obviously know that. Today we've been drinking reds. It's kind of a cooler night out. Reds go better with in colder weather with heartier meals, pasta, steak. My friend Stephen just spilled some red wine.
But I'm not an alcohol abuser. I am going to lick it off my fingers. Here's the bottle, cork. Sorry. You were saying?
So I was saying...
Before you drink this, you might want to have a couple crackers.
That's racist. The point of the crackers is to cleanse the palate. It's not about name calling. We can get to that after we drink more wine. What I was going to do is not steal the wine when I picked it up, but you want to present the bottle to the audience. This one has a title Lot 249. Every vineyard comes up with their own style, naming, classifications. This 2009 Meritage.
Very good.
From Alexander Valley in California. On the back label, we're not going to read the whole thing, but it says it's velvety. It has a great description on it. Sometimes you turn around the bottle, it'll say nothing. Other times it'll have a completely marketable paragraph. This one seems very on point. I'm expecting a very velvety, very smooth, very drinkable. I'm actually very excited to taste this wine. I wish I had a big hearty steak right here, but I might be getting ahead of myself. So why don't you pour us a little taste, and
certainly.
we'll see.
You know, the great thing about this wine, because it is a blend, is that it can go with just about everything. And I've had this wine before. I've had it with salmon. I've also had it with duck. At a Chinese restaurant, I went on Chinese New Year, my mother and we brought a bottle of this, and we sat down and we had ourselves some Peking duck and a glass, well, a couple glasses of Meritage.
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 Now, if you were more into wine, you might rinse this glass or use a different one. But we finished it and we added it to the new one. Maybe to the more nuanced palate, there'll be a major difference. And obviously, if it was a completely different wine, sparkling or rosé or white, well, we wouldn't mix it. But basically, a little drop of the old wine is not going to affect too badly the taste of the new one.
Because we're not wine snobs, like some of the people that you may meet while at a wine tasting, or if you ever go to one of those food, a wine, I shouldn't say the magazine name, but a wine festival that is hosted by one of the more hoity-toity type places.
Right. The problem with wine and the people who like wine is that it can become so nuanced, it's almost above everyone else. And if you don't know, you're less than. Whereas you could know a ton about bourbon and whiskey and scotch or beer or anything else, and it's not so much of a big deal. So don't ever feel bad for not knowing about wine. There's way too much about wine to ever know about. And if you like it, there's no reason to ever feel intimidated by a wine snob, because they're always going to be around.
Yeah.
And
you know what? You know what?
I don't know what. Tell me what's
I'm
what.
going to tell you what's what. You ever walk into a liquor store?
Daily.
Yeah, well, daily. That's very good. Well, I know when I walk into a liquor store, I look straight ahead, I look to the left, and I look to the right. I'm looking for what am I looking for? I see the alcohol, the spirits over there, the rum, the whiskey, that kind of stuff. That's not really my taste. I see the beer over here up in the coolers. I see the wine straight ahead, I go for the wine. Problem is, there's like 1,500 different wines.
There's tons.
So there's no way, even a connoisseur, a sommelier, fancy word, will not know every single wine that's out there. There's just so many. I looked this up, there are over 7,000 wineries just in the United States.
That's a lot of wine.
That's a lot of wine.
And there's so many differences. You could buy a Cabernet Sauvignon, that's a grape, but different vineyards, different processes, it could be a completely different experience.
Yeah.
There's so many wines, but right now we're talking about one wine. This Cabernet Hughes, Lot 249, Meritage. Merit and Heritage. If you call it Meritage, I will never give you crap for it. Just, you could say it however you want. You give me some of that wine, and I'll pass it to you.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
So now, all right, so
I understand.
we've talked a lot. So
Yeah. All right.
I've only smelled it once. I want to taste it.
Well, I've tasted it.
Did you swirl it first? You have to swirl it first.
Swirl it. And you know what? If we did have a decanter, I should say, a decanter or an aerator, we would not have to swirl the glass.
I like swirling the glass.
I know you do.
Because then you stick your nose as far in, and you just close your eyes, and you inhale deeply, and you just let your senses, whatever comes to mind, it's like stream of consciousness. Anything is possible.
Yeah, that's very good.
Cherry, dark wood, little even tobacco, maybe even a tiny bit of licorice.
I get the mixed berries, very very cherry.
Almost like that, not just a real cherry, but like that fake cherry, like if you were gonna have like a red,
Like a maraschino cherry.
yeah, a maraschino cherry or like a red starburst.
Yeah.
Very smooth. Like the label says, it's velvety, which means it'll go down smooth. It's not a sweet wine by any standards, so if you like sweet wines, you might want to stay away from the Cabernet Sauvignons and the Meritages.
Meritage.
What is the plural for Meritage? You don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
I would just go with stay away from Meritage.
I'm gonna stay away from you.
Sauvignon. You can stay away from me if you'd like. If you like a sweet wine, you're gonna want to get a Moscato.
Moscato, white Zinfandel, anything with any kind of fruit in front of it. Apple wine, watermelon wine,
Right.
strawberry wine.
Sure.
All terrible, unless you like that sort of thing. That's fine. That's fine.
It's not terrible.
It's fine. No, it's what you like. It's what you
right.
like.
It's for the different. Everybody's got a different palate, you know. Not everybody's gonna like what you like. I'm not gonna like what you like, and that's what's great about this show.
That's fine.
We're gonna talk about what I like, what he likes, and then maybe you're gonna go out to the liquor store, or the restaurant, whatever, and you're gonna see one of these wines that we've had, and you're gonna order it and say, "I agree with Steve."
And most likely you'll say, I disagree with Jason. I get that a lot, and that's fine. But basically, what we want to do is we want to drink wine, drink it with you, tell us our experiences, and try and just fill you in on just little things that were confusing to us in the beginning. Such as when you go to a restaurant and you're looking at the wine list, well, what should you get?
Right.
It's hard for me to even tell you.
Some of the wine lists are like 300 wines long.
Yeah. And what are you going to do? You're going to go into a restaurant, spend $120 on a bottle of wine you can't pronounce and you've never heard of?
Right. Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe someday. But basically...
Well, and that's... When you get into a restaurant that has a wine list like that, most of the times they're going to have a sommelier, somebody who is very knowledgeable about wine, that they're going to talk to you about the different wines. What are you planning on eating?
Exactly. And it's not even just the sommeliers. It's the servers, it's the bartenders,
Right.
it's even the people that work at the liquor stores. It could even be the person who's looking for wine next to you in the store. It'll never hurt to ask questions because
Absolutely.
that's how I've learned.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, we'll try this and then you'll know.
Right.
It's a learning experience and it's fun because it's wine and it's alcohol and you have a good time doing it.
Absolutely. And another great way to get all the different tasters is to go to a wine festival. I love going to wine festivals because there's just the one in New Jersey, down by Cooper River Park last summer. They had every winery from New Jersey out there pouring their wines. So you paid, I think it was $10 to get in, and you walk around and you taste. You don't get this much wine, but you get a little taster. You get to taste the different
I know exactly
wines.
what you mean.
And it really opens.
I want to go right now.
Yeah.
Because I've been to a similar one in New York, in Watkins Glen. The Finger Lakes region of New York is a huge wine region. PA, New Jersey have their wineries, and they're up and coming. New York is somewhat established. It's kind of a mini California when it comes to wine in America.
Right.
Their festival, same kind of thing. I paid $30,
30.
got a glass, and you walked around all the wineries, and they would just fill you up, fill you up, fill you up. Then when you went to leave, they had volunteer state troopers breathalyzing everyone.
Right. Volunteer.
Just to be safe. And if you tested above, you could pull over to the DD area and have some orange juice. I blew a 1.8 and then drove home.
You mean a .18?
No, I mean a 1.8 because since they were volunteers, they could still let you go because it was voluntary.
But the alcohol, breath alcohol levels are there's 0, point, and then the number.
Right, I was 1.8. I was 1.0 over the limit. And they let me drive home. Now, I'm not saying you should do this, and I think we're getting a little bit off track, because what I wanted to say,
we're talking about this wine.
what I'm going to cut back to, is basically, today we're tasting a dark red Meritage California. This is I don't know the exact grape varietals, but it's similar to a Cabernet Sauvignon, a dark Pinot Noir, maybe a Merlot, a Syrah or Shiraz. It probably has a couple of those in this. It's delicious. It's a great winter wine, but this is one of many wines that I love to drink and love to talk about. There's the dry whites, Chardonnays, Pinot Grigios, the semi-dry whites, the Rieslings, the other Pinot Grigios. Then you get into the very sweet whites with the white Zinfandels and then the dessert wines. On the red side,
Don't forget about the blush.
we're gonna forget about the blush. The rosés, you're
The
gonna confuse
rosé,
these
you're
people?
gonna what? You're
I didn't
gonna
even
forget
get to
about
the reds.
rosé?
I didn't even get to the reds yet.
Oh, you're gonna include the rosé
Yeah,
with the
it's
reds?
whites
Ah,
and
excuse
then
me.
reds.
Okay, go ahead. All right,
I don't
sorry.
want to confuse it. There's dry and sweet, then there's
Right.
red and white, and then we'll get to the confusing stuff.
Okay, okay. Yeah, there's a
So
lot of
there's whites.
confusing stuff in the middle.
The reds, there's the dark reds, Cabernets, the Pinot Noirs, which is very soft. It's up and coming. It's that movie Sideways.
Right, right.
Merlots, which they can be good, they can be bad. There's the Moscato, which is super sweet, which I hate. Oh, is that a red or white?
Moscato depends.
I forget.
It
'cause I
could be.
hated
It could be both. I've
All I
seen.
remember that I
I've
hated.
seen a pink Moscato and a white Moscato, but Moscato is really taking off, and it's taking over for Sauvignon Blanc, where Sauvignon Blanc has been really the wine of the sweet drinker, the white sweet drinker.
I disagree because I've had some great dry Sauvignon Blancs, but I don't want to
Really?
go over into all the specific wine varietals because there's a ton. There's red and there's white, but then the rosés, where they leave the skins on just for a little bit. So it has the characteristics of a white, but also the hints of the red, which is what gives it that rosé color, the
Right.
blush wines.
Right.
Now the cheapest blush wines, the white Zinfandels, they're not what we're talking about here. But the real rosés are real grapes done right.
Yeah.
And then they keep the skins on just for the beginning process, so it gets some of the redness.
I was just at a tasting up in Rhode Island where we tasted about 40, 45 different wines from France. We had, I would say, probably 8 to 10 rosés. I've never really liked a rosé. We found a couple rosés there that were really good, and I'll bring them in for a future episode.
That's interesting because last summer was the first time that I actually drank more than one rosé and liked it. Normally, I would try the whites, try the reds. I'd like certain things, and then they'd say, "Hey, here's the rosé." And I'd be, okay, I get it. You're trying to do something a little bit different, but it never really clicked for me until last summer. Warm summer day, I had this rosé Pinot Noir. They take the Pinot Noir grapes, they do it, then they take away the skins. Amazing. Amazing for summer. But right now it's still February, it's a little chilly out. That's why I'm drawn to reds. I'm drawn to reds in the winter, I'm drawn to whites in the summer. I'm just drawn to wine.
drawn to red
I'm just
all
drawn
year
to wine.
round. I like a nice crisp white wine, Sauvignon Blanc, or not so much a Chardonnay, a Viognier, which is a really nice light wine. I like those on a very hot day, nice cold crisp. It's like drinking a cold beer, and I love cold beer. But when you want to sophisticate your palate a little bit, and you want to drink a white wine, especially with the ladies.
Well, I think there's a lot of potential here because there's so much wine, there's so much liquor.
Yeah.
They're all different. People really like it. If you're not just drinking to get drunk.
Right.
If you're out of
Absolutely.
college now,
Right.
obviously everybody loves alcohol.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
But you also want it to be quality. You want to enjoy it. And like you said, it's nice cold beer in the summer. To me, that's what wine is. It's the most refreshing thing I can have at a lot of certain points, and I just love it. I love talking about it. So we're going to talk about more than just reds. We're going to talk about whites, buying it,
One
selling
thing
it,
we're not going
drinking
to
it.
talk about, I want to say, is Mad Dog 2020. I've had enough of that in college, and I just will not.
Hi,
be
today on the
drinking
show
that
we're
area.
drinking Mad Dog.
MD
Oh.
2020. Hey, let's put it in a hot bucket or a bucket of water and heat it up to. Did enough of that in my college days. So, again, my name is Stephen Felt. We're here at Vinotopia.
My name's Jason Hefner here at Vinotopia. Vinotopia.
Vinotopia?
Video.
Vino.
Vinotopia.info.
.info. Vinotopia. V-I-N-O-Topia. Vinotopia.
Like Vino.
Vino
wine,
is wine.
and Topia.
Topia is like utopia. The perfect wine.
Vinotopia.
Vinotopia.
It's a great title. I just
Yeah.
have to learn how to say it.
Vinotopia.info.
And is that an email address or a website?
That is a website. Vinotopia. You can see it right along the bottom here of the screen.
Find us on Facebook.
Vinotopia. And you can
Vinotopia.
find us on Facebook and soon to be
Vinotopia.
Facebook.com/Vinotopia. Vinotopia.
I don't want to end it. I do want to keep drinking wine and talking, but we will bore everyone.
Yes. They're probably bored already. They probably turned off the TV. I think our cameramen are getting bored.
Double rainbow. Double rainbow. What does it mean? All right, cheers, everyone.
Come by.
You're fired.